Welcome to The Holistic Entrepreneur with holistic nurse practitioner, author, and success coach, Bonnie Gressel. Bonnie will support, nurture, and inspire you by helping turn your life's passion into your life's work. Now, please welcome the host of The Holistic Entrepreneur, Bonnie Gressel.
Well, welcome everyone. This is your host, Bonnie Gressel, here at the Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio Show. And I'm here tonight on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to share another great guest with you tonight. You know, there's always lots of insights and tips that we can learn from those who have walked the path. So you're not going to want to miss tonight's show. Janet Breitmaier is here. She's a transformational coach and international money mentor, and she'll be joining us a little bit later tonight. I'm going to introduce her right after our first break. Now, to me, being a holistic entrepreneur is really more a mindset. You see the person that you're working with as a whole. You come from that heart-centered place in your work. Looking at the wholeness of a person as you do business, to me, is more a philosophy, really, than rather what you do for a living exactly or what your credentials are. So perhaps this is you, and perhaps that's why you've tuned in tonight. Now, it doesn't matter where you're at on the journey, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been on the journey for a while. You know, I bet you'd rather work with the right people. Those who really want what you have, and you know that you can transform their lives in some way. Plus, if you're like me, you probably want to work with people that you love working with. Otherwise, it's not so much fun. So are you attracting the clients that you love working with? Can they find you? I always want to remind you that I have some free gifts for you as you are on the holistic entrepreneur journey at my website. And you might find them really helpful. Just go to bonniegressel.com and take a look around. Let me spell that for you. It's BonnieGressel.com. I know that you're meant to do great things, and you're meant to be happy and prosperous in the meantime as well. Now, I also want to remind you to join our community on Facebook. Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio is the name of the page. This is a place where we can interact as well. You can send me a message or post a bit about yourself, maybe a challenge that you're dealing with. This is a safe place where we can all interact, ask questions, and get feedback from each other as we're on this entrepreneur journey together. We really are. You know, as I was thinking about our guest for tonight and the topic that we're going to talk about, I was thinking about money and my relationship to it. You know, as with most people, there's ups and downs. We all have money issues. We all do. Perhaps it's from your past or maybe your childhood. Remember, everything we've ever experienced is in our subconscious mind somewhere. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. The best things happen to me when I'm totally detached from the outcome. You know, it's kind of like I had money off the radar. It wasn't even in my thoughts. And many new entrepreneurs struggle with money issues. I know they do. I did. It's hard when you're just starting out. There are so many things to learn, so many things to spend money on, you know, the tools that you need and expenses to set up your business or your practice. In the beginning, it can seem like money is going out but not coming in. You know, I was talking to someone just the other day, and she was really frustrated about how it seems everything seems to cost something when you're just starting out, and yet she's not seeing the money come back into her business yet. She said it's been 6 months and nothing is really coming in. Well, I know every business is different. So it can happen almost immediately, like if you're, building websites for people or something, and it's just your time. Or it can take years. If you have a brick and mortar business, or you have to build your platform so that you can be found and attract the right clients, collect social proof like testimonials, all this stuff takes time. Sometimes there is a lot going out before it starts coming in. But I really think that it's a matter of how you feel about money and what you're doing. So as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about when I left that large multi-specialty clinic many years ago. I didn't have 6 months' salary in the bank, like people say you should. But I left. Like I just took the leap. And I remember that we used some like life insurance money in the very beginning if we needed to, but it didn't take time. It really didn't take very long to break even. And that was a brick and mortar business. I mean, I had expenses like rent and office furniture and the phone, computer, all that stuff. I think the difference was it worked because I felt in my gut that it was right. I felt it was my calling, at least at that point in my life. And I didn't really think about how much money was coming in or not. It wasn't even on the radar. I always say to people, if you can't have good thoughts about something, the next best thing is to just not think about it at all, which is kind of what I did. So if you think about the law of attraction, we get what we focus on, right? So if you're focusing on money, the money that you don't have, rather than being thankful for the fact that right now, this moment, you're okay, and all the abundance that you do have, well, you get more of what you're focusing on, so you're getting more of not having the money. I like the saying that every thought is a prayer. I really believe that. So, just be aware of what you're praying for. It behooves us to feel good when we think about money. And if you can't feel good about it, just take it off the radar screen. Just don't even think about it at all. To me, it's about abundance is a feeling. It's not so much the dollars in your checkbook or your bank account, it's how you feel. Last year I thought about reaching more people with my teaching, maybe giving presentations and helping people to believe that they can live the life they deserve. I even started preparing letters to go out to organizations and put together some topics and outlines and thinking that in 2015 I was going to pursue this. I didn't think about how much money it was going to make or what it would really do in that regard. I just really focused on the feeling of sharing my message in a bigger way and inspiring people to believe that they could have the life they wanted, whether it was their health or managing stress, relationship, money, their life's work, whatever. Then in December of last year, I was contacted by 3 different radio networks in 1 month. Anytime something comes to me in threes, I certainly pay attention. And I decided to partner with 2 of those companies. So now, today, a few months later, I share my message in a bigger way. And I'm enjoying the feeling that I was dreaming about last year. I believe that abundance is a feeling, not that bank account. And every thought is a prayer. So pay attention to what you're thinking about. Pay attention to how you feel about money. Our guest tonight is going to talk more about that because that's, she's a money mentor. That's what she does. Jan is going to be a fabulous guest, and I know we're going to have a great show. Talking about how we feel with money, as though it's, not just a piece of paper or coins or whatever, but is this another entity of some type? I'm excited to talk with Janet about that on our show tonight and her journey along the entrepreneur path as well. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, I'm going to introduce to you Janet Breitmaier. And we will be right back. This is Bonnie Gressel on The Holistic Entrepreneur. I'll see you in a minute.
Do you dream of building a business in which you can share your expertise and gifts with others? A business that allows you to actively pursue your passion. If you're like most people, you've put that dream on the back burner because the mountain of details is just too overwhelming. Now you can join other holistic-minded practitioners in leveraging the entrepreneur coaching services of Bonnie Gressel. Bonnie shares your belief in the power of the mind-body-spirit connection, and she has experience in growing a business from the ground up. Whether your challenges are strategic, technological, or you want to create a platform that promotes your expert status, even by publishing a book, you can achieve your dreams quicker with the help of Bonnie's individualized coaching. contact Bonnie for a free, no-obligation consultation at bonniegressel.com. That's BonnieGressel.com.
Well, welcome back to the Holistic Entrepreneur Show. I'm Bonnie Gressel, your host. Allow me to introduce our guest tonight. I am so excited to have her here. Janet Breitmaier is a transformational coach and international money mentor. Janet helps professional women who are stuck and feel that they have no options to break free and live life on their own terms. Janet teaches women that they have the gift of choosing their ideal relationship with money through her signature Make Money Fall in Love with You program and her succeeding Create Life Your Way program. Janet is fiercely committed to empowering women to take responsibility for their relationship with money and convert their negativity and pain about money into the love of their life. Clients have praised Janet for helping them to get to the root cause of their problems with money by connecting them to their innermost desires. Janet says it isn't the stuff you know that's causing your problems. The root of your money issues lies hidden away in your subconscious and guides every action you make without even knowing it. Despite a successful 17-year career in business, a bachelor's and master's degree in business education, Janet found herself in a quandary of how money worked, or rather didn't work, in people's lives as well as her own. In her work, she encountered many people with a large asset base who were on the verge of bankruptcy. She is acutely aware that making a lot of money doesn't mean that you actually have money. The root of money beliefs and issues lies deeper than education or career can resolve. People who are married or single, widowed, retired, professional, educated, have large bank accounts, have children or don't have children, all have issues with money. You can download her free MP3 audio program, an interview with Janet on the steps to financial alchemy, if you want to, at her website, which is janetbreitmaier.com. And we're going to ask Janet before she leaves tonight to give us more information on how to connect with her. I am so excited to have you here tonight, Janet. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have fun tonight.
I think so. It's a hot topic.
It is. It is a hot topic. I read a little bit about you, obviously, in your bio, but everyone's got a story. We all have these life experiences so sort of, lead us to who we've become today. So would you share with our audience a little bit more about your story, your journey that brings you to who you are today?
Sure. I'd love to. I like what you said in your intro, that abundance is a feeling, and that it's all about the mindset that you have, because that's really, really true, and it's something that I really discovered. I think I might have mentioned to you in the past that I started out as a tax collector.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was a job that I had for many years. I was a senior collections officer in the tax department, and so I met a lot of people that owed a lot of money, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally. And so it was my job to contact these people and to try to negotiate how they were going to repay this money. And that meant a lot of different things. Were they going to be able to borrow money? Often they weren't able to do that, even though on paper they were very successful. So they had a large asset base. And I was privy to all of that information because of the type of position that I held. They had to disclose that to me. So they had professional jobs. They had children in private schools even, and big houses and memberships at golf clubs and all sorts of things like that. And yet, when I looked at their finances and tried to work with them on, let's see, what can we do here to free up some of your money, there wasn't, in some cases, there was actually no way to do that. And that was, at that time, I didn't know at that time. I know now what the problem was. I had a bad relationship with money, but at the time, I didn't know, and I couldn't believe it, because I worked there for many years. I ran into many people like this. And I couldn't understand how people who were, extremely educated and had really good positions, in some cases were business owners, how they could get into this situation where they were really stuck and they weren't trying to avoid paying. That wasn't it at all. I got that from talking to them. We think that's in our minds, they're just avoiding paying their taxes. But I met with them personally and talked with them and had many conversations with some of them to try and figure all of this out. And they just didn't know. They just didn't know how they even got into the situation that they were in. And I worked there for a long time, and I ran into a lot of this, and I realized that somewhere in my mind, I realized it must be a mindset that they had, because how could this happen to so many people? And that brought me to a place eventually where I just felt like I needed to change out of that work, because it was, as you can imagine, quite negative, right?
Yeah.
People weren't really happy to see me.
No, the tax collector, right? Yeah.
I wasn't welcomed, although they were kind to me in most cases, right? But I wasn't someone that they particularly wanted to see at their doorstep. And I eventually had to leave it. It became a very stressful situation for me, and I decided that, I really need to do something else, but what, and not really knowing what to do. I tried some different things, and it was harming me sort of my health-wise. I started becoming ill, and I was on stress leave and stuff like that. And so I eventually hired a coach. One of my neighbors said, you know what, you should hire a coach. And so I did that, and I eventually got out of that type of work, and I became a teacher. I was a business teacher, and I taught entrepreneurship, which was kind of interesting, at the high school level. And I did that for quite a while. And then, I thought, okay, this is nice, but it's still not quite there. So this is, sort of, keep going until you find what's exactly right for you. It wasn't quite right for me, and I decided to actually become a coach at that point. And I discovered this money coaching. And when I discovered money coaching, all the pieces just fell into place for me. And I suddenly realized what it was exactly that I was involved in with the client group that I had, that they really did have a bad relationship with money, and they were manifesting that situation that they were in. So It was, do you see what I'm saying? It was just, it all started to fit together.
And now in the work that you're in, you can help people to get out of that better than you could when you were the tax collector, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Now, well, we're going to take a short break, Janet, and when we come back, I want to hear more about how you started your business, maybe some of the challenges and how you found people to work with. So this is Bonnie Gressel here at The Holistic Entrepreneur, and I'm here tonight with Janet Breitmaier, the transformational coach and international money mentor. Hot topic, you're right. So we're going to be right back.
Are you one of the millions of people who struggle to relax, sleep well, or even lose weight? Have you ever wondered why it's so hard? If you think your brain might have something to do with it, you're right. Now you can learn how to access the powerful energy of the mind-body connection with the Ultimate Health and Wellness Gift Set, a 4-CD collection of guided meditations from holistic nurse practitioner Bonnie Gressel. You can use them all for yourself or split the individually wrapped CDs into gifts for friends and family. The Ultimate Health and Wellness Gift Set includes all of Bonnie's popular CDs, including Restful Sleep, Relax, Meditation for Busy People, and Weight Loss. To get your copy of the Ultimate Health and Wellness Gift Set, go to BonnieGressel.com and click the Products tab. That's BonnieGressel.com.
Well, welcome back to the Holistic Entrepreneur. I'm Bonnie Gressel, your host, and I'm here with Janet Breitmaier tonight, a transformational coach and international money mentor. And we are having a hot discussion already. We're hearing a little bit about Janet's past as a tax collector and how it led her into coaching, actually, after a few twists and turns. And Janet, I am excited to hear about starting that business as a coach, a money coach, no less, and how that all happened, how you found your clients, if there were challenges you dealt with. Tell us more. I'm excited to hear.
Well, it is an interesting story. Like I said, when I first discovered money coaching, all the pieces just fit together for me because I was like, oh my God, this is exactly the piece of the puzzle that I was missing before. It also brought me kind of around to the other side, personally to the other side of money, because I was dealing with, actual dollars and cents and balance sheets and, financial statements. And now it's all what's going on in your mind, in your belief system, in your feelings. So it's a totally different way of looking at money for me as well. And I found that really fascinating myself to go through the whole process of looking at, first of all, identifying how do I feel about money, because it's not something that we think about. How do we feel about money? And learning that your relationship with money is as real as your relationship with a person. And how do you have a relationship with money when money isn't actually a person? How do you have a relationship with something that's not a person, right? And how do you maintain that? And that whole process is very, very, it's very strengthening. It's very personally strengthening. It strengthens your convictions, your confidence. It helps you to get to know you. And as you're falling in love with money, you're also falling in love with yourself. And I think that's a really key point that is really difficult for people to get the concept that you really need to love who you are and know who you are so that you can make decisions based on what you're really feeling. Because sometimes when I ask people and clients, they don't know what they're feeling. They can't come up with the answer right away. And the more that you do this type of work and this type of inner work, the easier that it is. It starts to become natural, in fact, that you do know what you're feeling and thinking at all times, and you can just be that. And that's really, really powerful in your business, in whatever business that you're in.
You talk about the subconscious mind, and I talked about that earlier in the show today too, because everything is in there, and really you want the good stuff at the top, but most of the time it's not the good stuff at the top. And so it sounds like, no, you don't even know it's there, but it's driving what you do. Oh, that's so true.
It's tricky, it's really, really tricky. When I ask people, what are your negative thoughts and beliefs about money? I ask everyone that. They might start to talk about things that are really on the surface. I had to file for bankruptcy and got into trouble with my in-laws and, whatever the story is. But as you start to talk and start to, get past what the surface semantics are and start to get into the feelings, it's really about something, very much deeper than that. Something happened in their childhood. They were afraid of money. They're now repelling money. And it's really interesting to get to the root of what's happened now.
Yeah. So
and
how about...
You start to find out what is in your subconscious. Like that starts to bubble up, slowly.
Well, I bet that was really, I would imagine that was extremely helpful for you as you were starting another new business. Because if you're starting a coaching business, you have to find clients, and you don't have a, every 2-week paycheck that comes in automatically and all those things. So I would imagine it was helpful for you. How was that whole transition, and were there challenges for you as you started your business?
Oh, sure there are, because, not everything bubbles up at the same time, right? So, it's an ongoing work that you do with yourself. And I think one of the largest challenges that I had was negative comments and feedback from other people. And when I talk to my clients, they have that kind of thing too, where other people, you want approval from the people around you. You want to share with them what you're doing, and they're not as excited about it as you are, right? And that can be quite stopping when you're starting a new business, when you're brand new, before you have a lot of clients, and while you're starting to put all of these things in place, and it's costing you money, and then you start to get sort of like, oh, why are you doing that? Why don't you get a real job? And blah, 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 right? That can be really, really stopping, and it can really hold you back. And going through this type of work where you're really centering in on what is your heart really saying, or what is your inner voice really saying, and silencing these other voices, it gives you the strength to do that, just so that it doesn't come to you in that same way, or you don't notice it anymore. You can just keep going and doing one thing after another until it's all sort of put into place.
Yeah, if you are an entrepreneur and you don't have a lot of, friends that are in your same position, that are entrepreneurs as well, it is tough because you kind of feel alone. And yes, I have heard that too. Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you go back to a real job? Because there's a different mindset. I was probably born an entrepreneur. I mean, this is where I feel most comfortable, but yet it can be lonely sometimes, especially if you are trying to get support from people who just don't see it that way. They just don't get it, I guess.
No, and they sometimes don't get the whole holistic aspect of this type of work that you or I are involved in. And they don't understand what you're talking about exactly. Yeah. And that's because they're in a different place. I've had over the years some people really catch up and come back into my life that kind of left my life. But in the beginning, when it's all new, it is really hard, and you don't yet have the people in place. You haven't yet met other entrepreneurs that you can bring in to your circle and that you're in contact with on a regular basis. You don't have that all in place yet. Yeah. And I have place now, and I'm sure you do. But at the very beginning, you don't, and it is kind of lonely, and you're on shaky ground, and,
Yeah, and it can be tough. Having a solid foundation and relationship with money, it's kind of hard when people are saying, well, why don't you get a real job if, money's not coming in right away? So, Janet, tell us more about that. How did you overcome what other people might have thought or said to you to sort of just pursue? And did you feel in your gut that you knew that this was right and it was going to work? Or how did you get over that?
Well, it was hard to get over that. It was really, really hard because I think I'm quite a sensitive person, and when you're starting out, you don't have that confidence yet, right? And you're sensitive to things like that, and it's easy to say, oh, you know what, you should believe in yourself, and it's none of your business what other people think of you, and all of that is true, but until you've internalized it, it's still outside of you, right? And you still have that, oh, what do I do, right? I think for me, there's quite a few different things that I did, and I had it in my heart that I wanted to do this. That was a very strong message within me that always was there, so that never wavered. And for me, walking the talk that I do, so actually practicing what my program is about really helped me a lot, which is a good thing. And really getting in touch with my new relationship with money, and really getting in touch with what my inner self is saying, and doing that every day. Like every day, okay, what do I need to do today? What is the most important thing I should do today? And doing that. And even if it's going for a walk, like there's a big piece in here for self-nurturing and taking care of yourself and grounding yourself, whatever that is for you. For me, it's going to the beach. So I try to do that, and I get really overwhelmed, and I have a lot of, talk going on from other people. I just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to take an afternoon, and I'm just going to go to the beach, and if it's winter and I can't go, I do some meditation, or I have some quiet time, or I might just go shopping. Like whatever it is for you, you need to find that separate out and re-ground yourself. The other thing that I think is really, really important, what I've done is I've created an inner circle of people that I trust. And hopefully they trust me, because I do the same for them as they do for me. But it's not necessarily a mastermind group, but it is a group of people. There's maybe 5 people that I trust, really, really trust, and I can just call up and talk to them. And they can just call up and talk to me. And it can be an informal conversation. Hey, you know what? This is going on. What do you think? And have that person just say, hey, remind me of some of these other things. Believe in yourself. You're doing the right thing, right? And they do that with me. Call me at any moment. And having that where you know that you can trust them, they're going to set you straight if you are off, and you know that they're doing it, non-judgmentally and not critically. They're on the same path. They're in synchronicity with you.
Yeah.
So it's important to find those people.
I love that. I love that inner circle thing. That's a fabulous tip for people, because in the beginning, you're right. Like you said before, it's hard because you kind of feel alone. But, we're not meant to be alone. We need that support around us. So finding your inner circle, I love that, Janet.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And it can be made up of other people in your field or not. Some of them are actually someone in my inner circle I've known since I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
She's like a sister to me. She's been a friend all these years, and she's in my inner circle. And she's not a coach, and she hasn't had coach's training, but she's very, very wise, right? And supports me 100%. And I have other friends like that as well that I've known for many years that are in my inner circle. And I have others that are people I've met recently since I've started coaching, and then they're coaches. So I think it's good to have a variety of people, actually.
Yeah.
But make sure that, they are people that are in sync with you and know you and can offer good input. You know what I'm saying? Good input. Good constructive input.
Right. It doesn't always mean that, oh, yes, you're doing everything right. You want, the honesty piece is important.
Exactly. The honesty piece is really important as well. So I think something that everyone should develop. Like I said, it may take a while to develop it, but it's important to begin doing that.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love that little tip. I think I'm going to work on creating an I'm in mastermind groups and things like that, but that inner circle, is different, like you described. Yeah. And I think that's really good for people to have, your support team. So how about some things that you've learned along the way? I mean, when did you start your, being a money mentor? I mean, how long has it been that you've been in this coaching business?
My goodness, I have to think back. The money mentor, I've been probably, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years now.
Okay. Wow.
My goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to you for that's a long time. So there must have been some aha moments, wow, this is really good. I don't know how this happened, but this is really good. Some ahas that happened to you along the way. What comes to mind as things that might have surprised you even along your journey?
I think each client that I have surprises me. I think one thing that really surprises me is that everyone has a story. Everyone has had bad times in their life. And everyone has a story that they can talk about that you would never guess them talking about while they're sitting across from you. I've had that many times. And so I know that you really can't judge people. That's my big aha. You cannot judge anyone by how they look and how they appear and how they present themselves. They've all had hard times.
Yeah.
And they all need support.
Well, we're going to take another short break, Janet. When we come back, I want to talk more about that because that is so true. We just see people's highlight reels sometimes, and we don't see all the bad stuff or difficult stuff that happens ahead of time. So we're going to take a little break, everyone. And I'm Bonnie Gressel here at The Holistic Entrepreneur. I'm here tonight with Janet Breitmaier, and we're going to be right back.
Writing a book and becoming a published author can be a daunting challenge. Most people don't even know where to begin such a journey, much less how to make it happen. Now you can realize your dream of seeing your book in print with help from the team at M&B Global Solutions. The husband-wife team of Mike Doplays and Bonnie Gressel provides the individualized coaching and publishing services you need to make your book a reality. Contact Mike and Bonnie today for a free consultation at mandbglobalsolutions.com.
You're listening to The Holistic Entrepreneur with Bonnie Gressel. I would love to get your feedback and discover the topics that you would like to hear about on the show. So please leave me a review or connect with me on Facebook by searching Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio. My mission is to provide valuable content so that you feel your time is well spent. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share this resource with others. Welcome back, everyone, to The Holistic Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Bonnie Gressel, and I am having a fabulous conversation with Janet Breitmaier tonight about money. It's a hot topic. We were just talking before the break about how you really can't judge people, that you don't know everyone's story just by sort of seeing them on the surface. And I think that's so true. I mean, when we see people like online or on television or really just anywhere, and they seem to have all the success in the world, we don't see all those maybe years sometimes beforehand, before they had the success. We only see the highlight reel, so to speak. So Janet, tell me more about the sort of the aha that came to you regarding this in terms of not being able, not really judging people, and how much you've learned from all of your clients.
I've learned so much from my clients. Like I said, when I've had some clients, especially in my early years as a money coach, where they've called up or they've made an appointment. Perhaps I've met them at a networking event, so I've met them, and I thought to myself, wow, they look all together. They don't they don't look like they have any money problems. They had some type of business job, and so they come, I have a home office, and they come and they start to tell me their story, and I'm just flabbergasted sometimes. Yeah. Like, I'm just blown away by all the different things they've gone through, like extreme poverty and abuse in their family and different types of family secrets, and that have shaped how they think about money now, and they're realizing that and wanting to clear those blocks, and we've done that, and they can go to even higher heights, or perhaps they clear up whatever's however it's manifested currently, and I just found that amazing, and I still do. I still do, and that everyone has a story. You cannot judge somebody by, the kind of, they have a really nice car, really nice clothes, they're really well-spoken, you think that everything is going fine. It's not necessarily so, and I've learned that you really have to have compassion for everyone and first, have compassion first and not come from a place of judging them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. And I find that with so many people, that I've met as well. So, Janet, we've talked about lots of awesome things on the show tonight, but if you wanted people who are listening tonight to remember one thing, if they didn't remember anything else, what's the one thing that you really want to leave our listeners with, that golden nugget maybe that you have for them? What do you think that would be?
I think that I would like people to remember that your relationship with money is as real as your relationship with a person. And that leads to your having a relationship with yourself. It's all tied together. I would like people to really, really solidify that and really think about that and really kind of internalize that their relationship with money, yes, is a mindset, and that it can be good. If it isn't good right now, it can be good, and it will be good.
Yeah.
And that you can trust that when it does happen, when the shift happens for you, you can really trust that, and you'll be stronger.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because some people might think, oh, well, my relationship with money is not good because I get, anxious or fearful every time I think about it, and that can't change. So it's really good that you emphasize that it can change, that it can be healed. Yeah.
It can be changed. It can be healed. It can be changed. And it doesn't mean that things won't happen in the future, because life goes on, right? Mm-hmm. And all kinds of will happen to you in your life, but you'll be able to handle them in a different way.
Yeah.
In a better way. It won't devastate you as much anymore, whatever happens, once you've gone through and done this work for yourself.
Yeah. Well, in money, in our culture, and probably many, many cultures in the world, money sort of is important. I mean, it drives everything. It's
yes.
So it's really throughout your whole life. I mean, there isn't anything it doesn't touch. I don't think.
It touches everything.
Yeah.
It touches your relationships. It touches your lifestyle, and we start to focus on it as though it's governing us, really, mm-hmm. right? Put money in charge. And we say, okay, well, we can't do that because money won't let me, right? Money won't let me change my job, or I can't go on this trip because of money. We blame money for everything. And when a shift happens, then you start to be proactive. You're not coming at this scene from a place of being a victim then, right? You're coming in saying, okay, I don't have the money right now. How do I manifest it, right? or what can I do instead that's equally as good? You start to think completely differently.
Yeah, and manifesting it, I think, and this is a Bonnieism, so I don't know if it goes along with what you profess, but to me, manifesting is not just like doing something to earn money. It's also the energy about it. Will help you to manifest, because so often we don't allow it. It's out there for us, but we don't let it in sometimes.
Exactly, and that's why I recommend, really nurturing yourself, like taking a break from thinking, even if you can, because that will shift your energy. Going to the beach, going for a walk, going to a concert, listening to your favorite music, like all of that stuff, it really does work to take a break and shift your energy. And then all of a sudden you'll get that call, right, inviting to be a speaker somewhere, or you'll get that call offering a new client coming in. And I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
Shift
so it
your
is...
energy. Yeah, it comes to you. Opportunities may come. It may not be actual dollars, but it may be an opportunity that will lead to something.
Right. So I know people are going to want more of you, Janet. What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, the best way is to go to my website. It's janetbreitmaier.com. It's BreitMaier.com. And you can download an MP3 there that describes how to change your relationship with money. If you want to try that, it's fantastic. I also have a couple of teleclasses coming up, and I'm doing a group coaching in September. And as well, I do consultations. I'm happy to give somebody a consultation as well. And you can get all of that information from my website.
Oh, that's great. Well, I know that there are people, in fact, I'm going to go there, I think, because I think there are a lot of people listening tonight who are going to want more of what you have to offer in relationship to our relationship with money. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I truly do appreciate you taking the time to do that. And as we say goodnight to you, we're going to take one more break, and we'll come back after the break with just a few minutes. And I want to give my success secret for the week. So I'm Bonnie Gressel here at The Holistic Entrepreneur, and it's been a fabulous show with Janet Breitmaier, and she's an transformational coach and international money mentor. And Janet, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Oh, it has been. Well, we're going to be right back, everyone, for the success secret for this week.
Can your ideal clients find you when they search online for what you do? If you're like most people, you might be surprised at how weak your online presence really is. There's a lot you can do to increase your online exposure at little or no cost if you know where to look. Holistic entrepreneur coach Bonnie Gressel is an expert in helping clients enhance their online presence so they can grow their business fast. Contact Bonnie today for a free consultation at bonniegressel.com. That's BonnieGroessl.com.
You're listening to The Holistic Entrepreneur with your host, Bonnie Gressel. The Holistic Entrepreneur is sponsored by M&B Global Solutions, providing individualized coaching for entrepreneurs and authors, as well as book editing and publishing services. To learn more, go to mndbglobalsolutions.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Bonnie Gressel, here at The Holistic Entrepreneur. We've had a fabulous time on the show tonight with Janet Breitmaier, transformational coach and international money mentor. And it's been a really good show. So listen to the replays when it's on, and it'll be on my show page down the road when the show is archived as well. Now, the success secret for this week, of course, has to do with money. And I'd like you to just begin with awareness in terms of money. How do you feel about money? I mean, does it make you smile when you think about paying the bills? If you're like most people, probably not. But you could turn that around. Notice the abundance that you do have. You know, Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks, who write the Abraham Hicks books, have several law of attraction games that you can play regarding money, your energy around money. So I'd share a couple of those with you tonight. Carrying around a $50 bill or $100 bill in your wallet just so that you have it and know that you could spend it on something if you really wanted to. Now, most people who do this never actually really spend it, but it's just the feeling of knowing that it's there, and it's there if they really wanted it. And then another thing is another little game that they teach you to play is giving thanks when you pay your bills each month. Now, how many of us do that, right? Probably not too many of us. But giving thanks when you pay your bills each month, you're giving thanks because you're able to pay your bills, even if it's just this month, because this moment, you're okay and you can do that. Most entrepreneurs don't have a steady paycheck. It varies from month to month. But right now, you're okay. It's a different feeling. It's a better energy to be thankful as you're writing a check or clicking the Pay Now button or however you pay your bills. So that's my success secret for this week, to begin with awareness about money, how you feel about it, and see if you can start shifting that feeling to something more positive. Now, I have another great guest lined up for next week's show at Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be an awesome show. There are so many things that we can learn from people who have been along the holistic entrepreneur journey themselves to make our journey a little bit easier. So I want to thank everyone for listening in tonight. I know life is busy, so I truly appreciate you taking the time. I want to make sure these shows are always valuable and in good use of your time. So feel free to comment on the Facebook page and let me know what you think, or let me know about something you want to hear about. That Facebook page, again, is called Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio. Anything you'd like to hear about on the show, send me a message. You can also send me a message at bonniegressel.com. And you can check out some of the free things that I have for you there. So thank you again so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you to our guest again tonight, Janet Breitmaier. And join me next week for another great guest at the Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio Show. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Blessings, everyone.
This has been The Holistic Entrepreneur with host Bonnie Gressel. Tune in each week at this time to hear how Bonnie can help make your journey to entrepreneurship an inspiration. And like her on Facebook at Holistic Entrepreneur Talk Radio.